Okay. Now I come to the mapping part. So this will really help.
One second, can you just show that slide, the previous slide? No?
By the dog's bed.
Yes.
By your chair.
Someone is not on mute, I request.
Plug it in over there. Don't change it. Just use dad's.
Thank you. Okay. Fine. So as I mentioned earlier, that what is a phoneme? Phoneme is the smallest unit of sound. Suppose I'm saying cat, then k, the smallest unit. Okay, k. Now grapheme is what? You know k, but how will you show it on the paper? If you want to write it somewhere, if you want to tell the spelling, then how will you represent that? So when we are writing that letter to represent the single phoneme, we call it grapheme. Okay. Now comes the mapping part. So see, this is one wonderful example. If I start with spoon, though I would be coming back to CVC words also, but I really like this idea. So suppose if I ask you how many letters are there in the word spoon, you can practice this mapping for your kindergarten, for grade 1, grade 2, like there are different levels. So when we go to bigger words, then definitely we're talking about grade 2. But when we are talking about small words, one syllable word, we are talking about kindergarten. So suppose we have the word spoon. Okay. It says we have 5 letters in this. But if you see that order chart, I asked you to take a click or make a note of it, this letter sound order chart, which has 42 sounds, 7 groups. So we find that double O is considered as one sound. Okay. Again, the double O represents 2 sound also. O, O. Okay. Chota O, bada O, O, O. And you can see the phoneme. Can you see this voice modulation? Suppose I'm saying s, p, u, n. Okay. So how can we do mapping? You say the word, then tap it. Okay, I will just practice that with you. Tap it. Now you can map it. Now what is mapping? That also I will show you. Graph it. We are putting the letters in different blocks. Then we are blending it. Finally, we are asking the child to say the word after blending. And then we just, a lot of repetition is required. So we just ask the child to say the word fast. Okay. Suppose initially the child is saying k, a, t, or the child is saying d, I, p, then d, ip, dip, k, at, cat. Or if you want to say k, at, cat, that way also. And then finally the child will write it. Let's see this. Now suppose I have shown this object, this drawing to my child. First thing that I will try is, I will try to ask my child, what is this picture? Okay, if the child has seen it somewhere, maybe in a storybook, maybe in a cartoon, or maybe live, then child would be saying it is called dam. So then you will ask, dam. Oh, let's count. Let's see how many fingers do we need to open. D, E, So you will put 3 chips. Okay, I will just do that with you. And then we will ask the child to read it as well. Now again, suppose if I say jet, j, e, t. You can always do the action, jelly, j, 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 j. Okay, so there are actions, there are sounds, there are jingles. I mean, Jolly Phonics program is so good, so musical. If you're using the Jolly Phonic app, I mean, you must use that if you're using Jolly Phonic. It's really good, wonderful. Then suppose pig, box, mug. So you can show the object. You can ask the child how many sounds. Then you can ask the child to to write every letter in one box. Okay. Oops. Can you please mute? Just a second. I need to stop here for a while. I will come back on this topic. Okay, fine. So I would like to use it with you. Let me just clean it. Okay, I hope my board is visible. Fine. Fine. So suppose I'm showing this to my kids. Okay. I'm showing this to my kids and I have that sheet with me. Now what will I do? I will ask the child to open the fingers first. How many, what is this word? What is this word? The child will say hat. Okay. Or the child can say cap. Right. Now see. So what I am doing, because I know 3, so I have these chips with me. I hope it is visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Fine. So I have used it. I have put 3 because I know that the child should understand that there are 3 sounds. Okay. So then k, a, p. Okay. K, a, p. Then you will ask the child to read it together. Blend the sounds. Blend. And then the child can write. Okay. K, a, p. This time there is no partition. Okay, because the child has understood that there are 3 graphemes, 3 phonemes, and 3 letters. Okay, 3 letters, 3 graphemes, and 3 phonemes. Okay, now suppose if I say the word, I show this card to them. Now, can someone tell me what is this?
Fish.
Fish. Very good.
It's
So,
body.
okay. Let me just erase it. Now again, if the child knows all the 42 sounds, the child knows that sh is one sound. Okay. So maybe you can give this. The child can write like this, f, e, sh. Okay. But then you need to correct the child and you need to tell that sh is one sound. And then the child can write fish. So here we have 4 letters, okay, but 3 graphemes and 3 phonemes. So ultimately it helps when we do big words also. Like, you know, you have spell bee competitions and everything. So at that time, it really helps. Yeah, so here I would like to show you a few more examples and give some exercise to you. Okay, so we will, okay. Now let's see a few more examples. Suppose I say fix, x, 3, okay, quilt, qua, e, t. Then AI again, as I told you that it's one sound. Fine. So we are using one box. That way the child will understand the spelling. It will get easy for the child to learn the spelling. Okay. Now suppose I say take. Now here I have written E very small. Why? Because it's a magic E rule, which I would be covering very soon. Haha, baby. Just a second. Okay. Now if I say touch, so can you tell me how many letters are there? Can you just open your fingers and show me how many letters can you see when I say touch? Yeah. Thank you, Miss Kirti. Miss Kirti, would you like to unmute and discuss this with me? Miss Kirti Thakur.
Touch, but we have only 3 sounds in that touch.
Yes.
So 5 graphemes.
No, 5 letters, 3 graphemes, and 3 phonemes. This is considered as one grapheme because it is one
5
sound.
letters, sorry, and
Yeah.
3 sounds.
Yes. Okay. Fine. So these are few examples. Now, again, as I said, it is very helpful for big words also. So this is one simple exercise. I think we can spend just 1 minute on doing 2 or 3 examples. I have added few
Excuse me,
hints for
ma'am.
you. Yes, please.
Ma'am, will a 5-year-old will be able to do this?
Uh, See, ma'am, when we are doing it with 3 letter words, that the child will definitely be able to understand. But as the, because if we introduce this mapping concept right at the age of 4, suppose, okay, then the child will automatically understand that this is mapping and this is how we can, proceed. I think
Okay.
ma'am wants to say something, Miss Yvonne.
Yeah, there's these are really good, but there's also another way. Could you just go back to the other slide,
Yeah, sure.
which has got simpler words? There's also a way called I don't know if you know chin bumps. Now all try
Yes.
this.
Labels.
Mm. 3 bumps. J, e, t. 3 bumps. Let's try m, a, g. 3 bumps. It's an alternative way. And if you're working with children with special needs who may have low muscle tone in their hands or anything like that, the bumps. So would you move to the next screen where we have more complicated words? Here we
Yeah.
go. So let's try m, a, n. 3 bumps. For letters, as you said, but we've got 3 sounds. And t, a, ch. Chin bumps. It's an alternative just to add a little bit of diversion to your classes. So I thought I just remembered that for you.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing. Yes, it's a wonderful strategy. Use the chin bumps. Because I think, ma'am, when we do syllables and long words, that time also we use the closed syllables and open
Yeah.
syllables.
Certainly when we're doing a lot of segmenting and blending,
Yeah.
segmenting when we have larger words and we're chunking them together, this is very important. And it's a skill. You talk about 4-year-old and 5-year-old. How you need to look at this is, okay, when did the child start phonics? If you've had a 3-year-old and they're 5, their progression is going to be more than a 5-year-old starting and having to learn everything. So maybe at the end of this, I can do a quick little talk about how we get children to the same place at the same time. But it also depends on cognitive ability, which we have to remember. But all of these strategies are hugely important. So maybe at the end we can revise on some of these.
Excuse me, ma'am. I would actually want to ask you on that. It is the same issue I'm facing in my class. I have a 4-year-old and a 5-year-old child in my class going with the same strategy of Jolly Phonics.
Yeah.
But there is a difference in the child picking up. A 5-year-old is picking up little fast, and a 4-year-old is not getting that easily as a
Yeah.
5-year-old is. So
Yeah.
how do we go about it?
Right. It's important to understand the ages and stages of children. Additionally, we can have in one class a 5-year-old born in January, for example, and another one born in December, and that arc of learning is enormous when they're that small. And this is why in many countries, everybody knows about the Finnish education. They don't get them starting to write until they're 6 years old, and they believe that they are cognitively ready. So, what you may have to find, I know I've worked in a class where I have mixed age groups, is how do you choose the activity to fit? If you're doing one activity with a 4-year-old and a 5-year-old, maybe the 4-year-old expect less and give the same concept but reduce it down to less work. And with the 5-year-old, you can be a little bit more challenging. But what you are doing is giving the same concept, but at different levels, the child's cognitive level. And that's okay. We all can't have classes that are separate for each age group. It doesn't often work like that. But what you will find is your ability to discriminate what you give the child. We can be teaching the same concept, but just level the activities. The 5-year-old is going to do a lot more than the 4-year-old. However, when the 4-year-old gets to 5-year-old, they'll have that knowledge and you can just keep building on it. The personal and intimate relationship you have with your students makes you a good teacher. You may have the same dynamics of age and they work really, really well together. And this is something that happens with our classes. But if you are in a class where you have to teach the same concept, dilute, reduce for the younger and keep the level for the older. You want to be trying to hit the middle. If it's too low, the 5-year-old will get bored. If it's too high, 4-year-old will get frustrated. So it's finding something in the middle, not always easy. I hope that helped.
Quite sure, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Okay. So that way you can do mapping exercise with your kids. And now here I would just like to say little bye to these small, okay, finger puppets, not actually puppets, but whatever you want to call it, okay? So I, O, okay? So after that, we will do a very small fun exercise because I need to take spelling rules and I will just try to wrap them, quite fast. So just a small break in the form of an activity. For that, I want everyone to turn on the camera, please, so that we all can enjoy. It's very simple. I just want your concentration level to be back. Okay, sometimes our kids also feel tired. We want to gain their attention, so we engage them in some activity. So the fun activity is, you just need to take a paper or a copy and keep it on your head. Okay. Maybe kids will not be able to do that, but we as adults can definitely try. So once you are doing this, you will also understand how difficult, wow, Lavesha ma'am, it seems that you are fond of modeling, the way you have balanced your head, it is actually nice. So what you will do, you just need to make triangles here, okay, without seeing. Okay, I want your concentration. They should not touch, they should not overlap. Please use a pen for that. So when you see your response, you actually know what you have drawn. Okay, so just, yes, keep a paper on your head. You're not watching it, okay? So something happens when you're introducing new letters to the kids also. They also don't know how to write. So you're of that level only and you're just trying to make triangles, but no triangle should overlap. Yes. Okay, time up. Please check your sheets on your own. And let me just spotlight a few of the participants to see. Okay, let me just add few. And I want to see how many triangles could you draw. 1, 2, 3 perfect triangles which were not overlapping. Okay, let me spotlight one child's work also. Okay, so you can see that few of the triangles were overlapping and how many good triangles could you draw, right? You yourself know the answer. So it's a small activity which I also do with my kids. So that way I'm bringing their concentration back. I'm giving them a break from the regular studies and I'm helping them to understand that, sometimes even if your eyes are closed and you're just tracing the letters in the air, you can understand the formation. Suppose I want everyone to close the eyes and just do air tracing of letter A. Okay, A. Okay, so that way the formation gets stored in the brain. I hope you all like the idea, the activity. Okay, thank you